Hey everyone. So I've noticed that a lot of founders and product managers are getting stuck in really long iteration cycles. They'll have an idea, but it'll take weeks or even months before the first version is built and shown to customers and tested against the market. This is bad for a lot of reasons. So I just want to show you how quickly a designer with modern design tools can put together a pretty good prototype that you can use to test product ideas with your potential customers and users. So to get started here, I've got some lists of common apps and a list of common occupations. I'm going to pick a random one from each using random.org here. And so it looks like I'm going to build Uber for fishermen. This is really random. I've never built Uber for a fisherman before. Let's pull up Sketch, see what we can do. So before we even start prototyping, I like to just put together maybe the roughest of rough journey maps together, which is basically something like what we want fishermen to experience as they go through this app. Obviously, if this were a real app, huge caveat here, I'd be calling up some fishermen and asking them something like, what's the hardest part about being a fisherman? How do you solve that now? What would your dream scenario be? And let's just say that they said something like, the hardest part about being a fisherman is finding a boat when there's a great day to go fishing, since we're trying to build Uber for fishermen. So the problem is not enough boats to hop on. We're going to build something like on-demand, fishermen getting a boat on demand, sort of a gig economy style thing. Now let's say currently they just go down to the docks on days they want to fish and hope that there's a boat that can pick them up. But in the ideal situation, maybe let's pretend and assume that fishermen say, in the ideal situation, I wish I could just automatically know whenever there was a fishing vessel that needed somebody to work, and if I wanted to go work, I could go work. Excuse me. And then, I also usually like to talk to people and ask them why they do what they do, and then why, and why, and why, over and over again, like an annoying 2-year-old or 3-year-old, however old that person would be. And the reason is that usually underneath that first answer is another answer and another answer. And at the bottom layer is an emotional reason why somebody does something. And as designers, we're really concerned with emotion. So for fishermen, I'm going to pretend that the emotional reason that they are fishermen at the very bottom layer, underneath making money, is maintaining a lifestyle, maybe that was passed on to them by their family, and supporting their fishing community, the village around the fishing community. So the first thing I'm going to do is figure out the first screen that this fisherman might see when they pull up some on-demand fishing boat service. In this case, we want to kick off right off the bat to show people using the language that they use that this is an app for them specifically, and talk about the value it's going to create. So we haven't actually done a lot of interviews with fishermen, but let's just put something together. Find vessels who need help instantly. Now, if you're not a fisherman, that's not going to make a ton of sense. But that's fine, because this happens for fishermen. I'm going to say, what should this be called? How about Fish Uber? No, that's the thing already. Fish, like lift with fish, is fish helps you find. Let's put the sort of the meat of what this thing does lower here. So I'll say something like fish helps you, shows you fishing vessels that need extra hands so you can get work and get paid without sounds like reliably might be the issue, because currently they just go down to the docks and wait. So say reliably. And fishing vessels, this thing's a little work. Something like fishermen, something to identify with fishermen specifically. So, get work, get paid. And then let's just put a button down here to help them get to the next step. This will be maybe like a first experience only kind of thing. All right, make this look a little bit more buttony. There's a deep blue aquatic color. Find vessels. Vessels is spelled right. All right. And I'm just going to do a little bit of visual treatment on this, not much. And it might be worth it to, you know, show some image. Now, I would never use stock photography if I could ever help it, if possible, because it's just too easy to take a really good camera out, and you're meeting your customers face to face anyway, right? So you get some great pictures of them. Let's see, these look like recreational fishing boats. Let's see, pro fishing boat? Oh, that's even worse. This might be a fishing boat that a fisherman might want to get work on. We'll come back to this. Okay, the next thing that we might want to show them is a map of some kind. So let's go to, I don't know, let's say Boston. Maybe, does Boston have fishing villages? I'm not really sure. Let's see if this fishing boat is ready. Let's just go with this guy. So I'm looking for a map of a fishing area and a picture of a fishing boat if it loads. Great. We'll just steal that real quick. Not too bad. All right, now let's go back to Boston. Maybe somewhere north in New England we can find a fishing village. So let's pretend that maybe somewhere here is a good spot. The town of Old Orchard Beach. Great. And we'll drop that in just like we did the other one. So the first thing that they're going to want to see is this map. You know, obviously there could be a sign-up component here. There could be a lot of other different things, but for now, since the goal for these users is getting a vessel, I don't want to put anything in here that's going to get in the way of that. Let's pretend we could do a little boat icon, but for now I'm just going to do a little oval, a little blue dot of all the potential vessels that need help. Just going to put them around here. And maybe if this is some kind of marina, there will be even more vessels that need help here. So we'll put a little number on it. Great. And now let's pretend that they touch one of these boats and they're going to get something like a little pop-up that shows them, you know, a little bit about the boat. Let's get this big radius here. reuse some of this copy, or reuse some of this text. John's boat. Three fishermen needed. Fisher people is probably better, huh? We'll just stick with that for now. And then a big call to action. Each one of these buttons is really trying to lead them along to the place where they can actually accomplish their goal. Better to be extra clear than to have it be unclear and short. Okay, well, that's pretty good. I think that's about all we need. The last step might be something like some directions. So let's just get rid of all this stuff and say, we're probably going to actually want to keep the map, aren't we? Oops. Close enough. Okay. Oops, keep letting this slip. So at this point, we've created something that is allowing them to see boats that they can hop on, and they can hop on right away. So I think we've done a pretty good job, screen by screen, helping these fishermen to tackle the goal that we're going to assume that they actually had. Before we move forward, I'm going to just connect each of these screens up with each other with a little link and a prototype here. And that's going to allow us to see this as I might actually look on an iPhone. And this is something that you can see on my screen here, obviously, but also you could very easily just put this on your phone and show it to a fisherman down at Old Orchard Beach if you wanted to. So let's start with this guy. They are going to see, okay, get work, get paid. Yep, that's what I wanted. I wanted to get money. Fish shows you fishing vessels that need extra hands so you can get work and get paid reliably. Sounds good. Okay, find me vessels. Oh, I'm geolocated right where I am. I see there's a bunch of vessels, and let's say I want to work on this one. John's boat, 3 fishermen needed. Yes, let's do it. Okay, getting there. Now, even walking through this, I already am feeling like a couple things that might be an issue. One, it's not really clear where our user is on this map. So I'm going to do this and give this maybe just a slightly different blue color, just so they have like a place where they can actually see themselves. There we go. And then this was a little, I didn't feel like I had a big successful moment here. So I'm going to say you're booked. I'm going to make this green, some kind of green here. There we go. So we've got sort of an emotional hook at the end. Let's walk through that one more time. Okay, we've got an app, get work, get paid. Here we go. Click on something we might want to do. John's boat, work on John's boat today. You're booked. Head down to Pier 7. Cool. Okay, so I think the point here is that you really don't need to spend a lot of time on a prototype to get something that you can put in front of customers. You certainly don't need to write any code to do this. If you're not used to doing journey mapping or rough prototyping when you're coming up with concepts, or if you have a lot of ideas in your head of things you want to build for your company, but you just can't seem to get them out there and you keep waiting for the engineering team to take them into a sprint, put design in the middle between whoever's coming up with the goals for the company and the engineering layer and help them rapidly iterate on some things. This is what healthy design teams look like, or product development teams rather. They have goals that they clearly articulate, they have hypotheses, they build to those goals. So there's something tangible in hand that you can use to test, and then they put them out into the world and see if the market accepts them or not. And the faster you do that, the more loops you can go through and the more you can learn. If you have any trouble with this, send me an email. I'd be happy to help or answer any questions. You know, I really think this can make a big difference for a lot of companies. So I hope you've seen something useful today.